Take a look at this. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this video to all of your friends. Now, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so welcome to this video, and today I will deal with this game once again because there were no good suggestions on the how to make a One Piece game series. So if you got any idea, just comment it guys and I'll read it and consider it. Alright, so today's topic is of course our Naruto tower I was doing in the last video, but also I wanted to fix a glitch which I've encountered in one of my previous episodes as well, and which has been, yeah, a problem to you guys. So some of you have been reporting it as well. And let me just quickly show you what that glitch is. So if you place multiple towers, let me upgrade them. I think the upgrade. Okay, so there we go. So as you can see, this is the glitch. So our towers are broken now, and the only tower which is working is this one. And as you can see, the arrow says humanoid is not a valid member of Naruto, but also of Zoroastrians. And yeah. So let's take a quick look at that and how you can fix this one, and then move on with our Naruto tower and try to finish it in this episode, and then in the next episode, guys. So many of you have been suggesting it, and I have already told you many times. Okay, so I wanted to make it at the end, but due to your massive amount of just suggesting that, I think that I will do it in the next episode. So if we get our Naruto tower done today, then I will feature the next episode. And the thing I'm talking about is creating a lobby with a tower summoner or tower shop whatsoever, and also so just a match selection system in which you can select the map and get teleported to it, and so on. Yeah, so as you guys can already feel, the series is actually pretty close to an end once I do that idea I've just talked about, because there's nothing else to do. Well, of course I could move on creating new towers, cool towers, maybe updating the old towers, but the base of this whole series would be done. And then of course I would consider making another series, which probably will have to do with anime as well, so probably something like a anime battleground arena. But let's just get into this video, guys. So stop this. Okay, so let's just quickly fix this thing right here. So the first thing we receive is a humanoid is not a valid member of either Naruto, so the minion's name, or the tower's name. And this whole thing has its origin in this control script. So let's take a closer look at that. There we go. So line 45, which is this one. Take damage. Yeah. Alright, there's actually a pretty easy fix to that. Let me just do it. So we have to apply this fix to every part of the script where we are working with the minion or interacting directly with the minion. So if you do not know what I'm talking about, I'm just gonna show you those spots. So for example, here. So we clearly refer to the unit's humanoid in this yeah, in this line, in those lines. And these are good examples for parts which I've just mentioned, so which we need to take care of. But another example is of course this one. So this is the part where the tower turns to the enemy. As you can see, we refer to the unit humanoid root part position. But of course, down here we have got the same thing as up here as well. So those are, and here of course as well. So those are the parts we need to take care of. And let's do a very quick fix for that. So we can do local S or success. Let's write success and arrow M. So I think that I've done this one in a previous tutorial of mine before, but I cannot remember in which one. But let's just move on. So just write down what I'm writing, and in between those two lines, just copy everything and paste it inside. Yeah, and this is the fix, guy. This is the fix, guys. So let me do it here as well, apply it here as well, and then let me test it out. And if it works, then I will explain to you guys what this thing is and how you can understand it. So I will just try to explain it, of course. Alright, let me place them right here. Let me upgrade them. Okay, let's hope that this has worked. There we go. So they do not seem to break. Okay, so those attacks still remain. Okay, so this one is not broken. Okay, perfect. So those effects still remain, but that can be fixed easily. But as you can see, this whole thing still works. And yeah, so this can be considered as a major fix. I still have to do some work in detail to, yeah, for example, fix the animation of those. So as you can see, he's not inside of his idle animation anymore. And yeah, so let's just go into a bit more detail now regarding this fix. So what we gotta do is, where is it? Yeah. So we gotta copy these two things outside of this thing. So these are responsible for stopping the attack animation and then playing the idle animation again. And let's do the same right here. Alright. /. Okay, and now in order to fix that attack being not cleared up, you can just easily do game, second game, debris, add item, X, and then, I don't know, 3 seconds. Then you can of course destroy this X destroyer right here. So let's try this out again, and if this works, then I will explain it to you guys. So let me keep some more towers, so some more towers which are at level 1, but also some which are at level 2 and higher, of course. So these, alright, so these perfectly clear up. And yeah, so this thing is fixed now. So this is the fix, and now I'm gonna explain it to you guys. So what I have done here is I've written local, success, and arrow M. So success, wait, so let me just explain to you guys. So what I've basically done is I've wrapped this whole thing up inside of a p call function, and everything which happens, or every arrow which happens inside of this p call, is like being isolated and will not break the whole script once it happens. So once you encounter an error in between a pcall function, your whole script is not being broken. Instead, you see those two variables right here, success and error m, which stands for error message. So instead, when you encounter an error down here, this error m will receive the error message from the error which has happened down here. And if there is no error happening down here, then success will turn to true. And that's all about it. So this is yeah, how to work with pcall functions. And the same, of course, down below here. So once an error happens down below here, error m will receive the error message, and if this whole thing succeeds, then success will be true. Yeah, so that's it with that. So this is the fix. And yeah, so I'm not even sure, so I cannot remember if I've talked about what exactly has caused that issue. So let me just quickly revise that. So we basically tried to refer to the unit's humanoid, although that humanoid does not that humanoid, but also the unit, which is more important. So the unit did not exist at the time we tried to refer to it. So you gotta imagine that we had multiple towers, and let me just make a quick example. So those units are walking. Let's say we have 3 towers right here. One is here, the other one is here, and the other one is here. So we have the unit walking around here. Let's say the unit is right here. Then this tower attacks, okay? It deals damage, and this thing is almost dead. Then this thing wants to, or this tower wants to attack as well. And this tower, of course, as well. And now if this one attacks before this one, then the unit dies. But this one does not recognize that the unit is dead. Therefore, it still tries to attack it and tries to deal damage. And if that happens, so it basically is trying to refer to the humanoid because it wants to take damage, because it wants to deal damage. Although the humanoid does not exist because the tower is already dead. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So we have tried to get access to something which is not existing anymore because it already has been killed by a tower. And that was the issue. So our script was not able to refer to the humanoid because it did not exist at that time anymore. And yeah, so we have just isolated that error. So it is not breaking the whole script, and our towers can still do their job. Now that's on how you fix that error with Zoro. Now let's also do the fix for our Luffy right here. So this is pretty easy. Local success error m, pcall function, and yeah. There we go. Now put these two outside, because let's say that an error happens up here, then those two lines would not, or just wouldn't happen, because the error up here would have broken the rest and would have directly exit out of this whole pcall, okay? So therefore we have to stop those animations after the pcall, which is not a problem, okay? Which is almost the same, almost. Yeah, so that's to our Gear 4. Now let's do the same for our Naruto. Local success error m, pcall function. And the same here as well, so put those two lines outside. And we have to do the same for here as well, but we will create a totally different attack. Therefore, I will just keep it as it is. And now let's do a final testing on that arrow, and let's actually check if this whole thing works fine now. So let me place two of those, one of that, no, let's say two of that, and one of him. So upgrade him, let's keep him, and let's keep him as well. Okay, so let's see. He seems to be immortal. Yeah, but as you can see, it works fine now, so they are not losing their idle animation, so Naruto is still having his idle animation right here. They are still bouncing around, and those two still have their idle. Alright, so this arrow has been fixed, guys, and I'm sorry that this even happened to you, but it is fixed now, and I hope you're happy about it. Now the next thing I still want to deal about, so I've just memorized it a moment ago, is the issue with the collision groups. So our players are able to prevent those units from actually moving their way through the building right here. And the same goes for our towers, so I could move him apart from his way, as you can see. This is an issue, so we have to deal with it. And yeah, so we should do that, of course. Okay, so let's just quickly do that. So this might take a little bit, because I'm not even sure how to do that. So we have set collision groups down here. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's first of all disable the collision from our player, from our character, to the unit, so that those two cannot collide. Let's just quickly do that. I'm still thinking of another way. I think that we will actually now use a module script. Let's just do that. So let's create a module script called collision. And let's put these 3 lines inside of that script. So why are we using a module script? Because we have the advantage that our script right here can make use of it, but other scripts can do that as well. And that's a good point. So I'm still not even sure if I'm able to use this module script with a local script, which is responsible for placing our towers, but we'll see. But I think it should be. Well, let's just check this out. So we are creating the collision group, and so we're setting it right here. Set our collision group minions. Okay. So let me create a function for this module script. So Functions which belong to the module always start with the name of the module, or so the thing you have up here. By default it is module, I think, but I've just changed it to collision. So collision, let's call this thing join group. And yeah, so we need the instance and the group's name. So let's just copy this whole thing right here. Let's do the first, or let's create the first parameter called inst, which stands for instance. And yeah, so we've just created our module script function right here. Now in order to access this module script, we can do collision require. So when you work with module scripts, or when you want to take or make use of their functions and their content, you have to refer to it inside of this require thing. So you write require, then those two brackets, and then inside of those two brackets you refer to the script. So script collision, so script collision. And yeah, so we've just referred to it, and now we do collision join group and v. So this should do. Let's see if this has worked. Let's hope so. Okay. So this is not good because I cannot see if they like interrupt each other. I think that I should make one of those anchored. Okay, so this one is anchored. Let's see if he can walk through him. And yes, so he can. Perfect. So the collision on our minion still work. Now we can deal with the collision on our player to minion. Of course, we can do that up here. So what we can do is we can loop through the player list first of all. So we will use a for I v loop, or for I loop whatsoever for that. So written a underscore, but we can also write a I. So for I index and v, let's do player instead. In pairs, game players, get players, or get children. So what is the same? Do. Oh, I forgot a bracket. Okay, so I is the index. I think in this case the number in the playlist. So if you start looping through this folder, for example, and you are at this thing, at this folder, then our I would be 2 because it is the second folder, 1, 2. Alright, and PLR would be minions, so would be this as an instance, not as a name, which is pretty important. Now we just do the same, not for our GD folder, but for our players right here. So which is the list for our players. Okay, so which contains our players. And by looping through those players, we want to gain access to their characters in order to add them to the collision group. So we refer to the characters by doing ELR character, and now we want to loop through the character, the body part, in pairs, characters, get children, do. And this thing is the same as down below here. So what we do right here is we loop through the unit's character, and up here we loop through the player's character. So there's not much of a difference right here. Now we can just copy this and edit right here. So we only want mesh parts and parts to be affected by this collision thing. So instead of V, of course, body part, so change that. And now our player should not interrupt those units from moving. Let's see if this has worked. And as you can see, it works totally fine. Alright, very good. Very good, guys, very good. Now the last thing we want to do in terms of this collision group thing is, of course, the placement. So we do not want our towers to, interrupt the units at the end. So let's go into this local script right here, which is responsible for the placement. And now I still need to find the power. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so the tower is being cloned up here, or yeah, it's being cloned. So we can just set the collision group right here. But we still, first of all, need to define a variable which stands for this module script. And now there's this difficult part I was just talking about earlier. So I do not know, or I'm unsure, if we are actually able to use the content inside, because we are a local script right here. So we have a local script, which is a huge difference to using a default script right here. But let's just give this thing a try. So at this collision thing, so we define a new variable called collision, which refers to, or which requires the collision module script. So we still need to define a new path for that. So we do workspace, because workspace, and then .td, because it is inside of the td folder, and then tower defense, because it is inside of the tower defense script, and then collision, because so this is obviously the name of this module script we want to make use of. There we go. So we have defined that variable, and now down here we want to loop through that tower's character, and of course set the collision group for every body part, for every instance inside. So the same which we have done earlier with our character, but also for our units. So we can just copy this, and where is it? Yeah, so get rid of I2, and instead of characters we do tower, but we still keep this thing right here. And now let's see if this thing actually works for our placement. And yeah, there we go. So it does not work. Alright, there's nothing to do about it, I think. So I think that we could actually try to do this thing locally. But in my first episode I've tried to create a bond, or make access, or gain access to this collision, or to one collision group from two different scripts, and it did not work. It didn't work out, you know. So I think that I shouldn't even try it, really. So don't play around with your towers when being placed, so do not move them to the minions or whatsoever. So just keep them or use them normally, guys, okay? Now the final thing we could still do is, where is it? So go inside of this tower script, which is right here. Where is it? Right here. And we can make the tower which is being placed. So we can add this one to the collision grip. That's still a thing we could do. And let's just do it quickly. So just copy this. Then go inside of our tower script. Put it inside of here. And now before fire servering this whole thing, let's get back to our monitor script. Let's just copy this one. Then go back. And there we go. So we have fixed this collision thing as well. And now we can finally move on with our Naruto tower. So let's try to finish it. I don't even think that we're probably gonna get this Naruto done today, but well, let's just see. Okay. Now, so let's back to our Naruto right here. Where is it? Yes, so there he is. The first attack was him using the kunai. Let's make the second attack be a Rasengan. And the third attack could be, yeah, I don't know, maybe a Rasen Shuriken. So let's just see, guys. Okay. So our second attack is going to be the Rasengan. And our third one, probably the Rasen Shuriken, but let's see first of all. So let's still do some kind of categorization depending on the level. So if our tower is above level 1, then of course you will attack with the Rasengan. And let's just make some, we create some kind of level cap right here. Let me first of all just copy. Okay, so let's just copy one of those entries right here. There we go. I have explained everything regarding those entries in my previous episode, or in one of my previous episodes, so don't forget to check that out if you have no clue on how this thing works. So let's just change those stats right here. Attacks per second 1. Second upgrade. Let's do 20. Okay, now let's change the attacks per second to, let's say, 1.75, so we do not make them too overpowered. And let's take a look at our Naruto's appearance. So should we change him or not? So let's not change him at level 2, but let's change him at level 3. So let's give him his Hokage dress, you know? So copy this appearance change thing to this next entry. So to this free entry right here. I think that there is one too much. Okay. Pretty weird. Okay, seems alright. Alright, so if that's the case, let's just move on with level 3. So let's make him have 35, and the attacks per second, let's I don't know. Let's drop them down to 1.6, so you can play around with these stats as you want to. It is up to you. And don't forget to turn this hair thing to false, because we do not want Naruto's hair to change, so we only want to change his shirts, his clothes, I mean. Let's put him outside right here. And I'm gonna pause this video at this point just to get him some nice Hokage dresses. And once I've gotten them, I'll come back and yeah, apply those dresses to him, guys. Alright, so I found something. And if you have found something, okay, then get the ID, which is inside of the link. So those numbers, of course, get them. And then go to your tower. And in my case, I have just gotten a shirt. Then enter the shirt ID inside of here. And this whole shirt will automatically, I don't know, decode it or change it in some kind of other code, which can be used to, yeah, apply the clothes per script. Okay, so now let's just copy this ID right here. And let's go back into our tower script up here and now replace the ID which you have gotten with the shirt ID right here. And now undo this whole thing. Let's check if this has changed. Okay, it did not change. And now repeat the same step with the pants. So there we go. Okay, it actually works. So you can even paste the whole link inside of here and it will still work, which is quite interesting. But yeah, so copy this once again and enter it inside of, yeah, the pants spot right here. So let's do that. And this is it. So undo this as well, so we keep our normal appearance. And now let's move this back into the towers folder again. And yeah, so that's it regarding the upgrades for our Naruto tower. Now the rest is about, yeah, scripting it, but also don't forget to apply some prices right here. So let's just quickly do that. Naruto. So the first upgrade costs, let's say 300, the second one 450, and the third one, let's say 1000. And these are the prices for our Naruto tower. Okay, now let's get back into the control script of our Naruto tower. So if let's categorize those attacks. So if our level is at 1, then we will of course make Naruto only use the first attack, which is the kunai slash, the attack with the kunai. Now the second attack, so if our stats F level value is at level 2, then we will perform the second attack, which is going to be a Rasengan. And now for the third level, so if our level, which is inside of our stats folder, is at 3, then we will perform a third attack, which is going to be the Rasen Shuriken. So let's copy this, or let's just create a new function. Function attack 3 units. There we go. Alright. So this already works. Now let's create the Rasen Shuriken guy, the Rasengan first of all. Now in order to do that, we should first of all animate our Rasengan. So let's create a new animation right here. Create new Rasengan. And I think that Naruto is holding his kunai with the right hand, so our tower and therefore we will make the left hand, yeah, create the Rasengan. So let me just do a quick animation right here. So let's make his arm go crazy. So you probably know that when Naruto is creating the Rasengan, he's like moving around. His hand is his yeah, one of his hands on top of the other hand, and is like creating some wind in order to form the Rasengan. And the same is gonna be the case right here. Okay, so this is probably a bit too fast. So there we go. Doesn't even look smooth, to be honest. it looks like well, it looks pretty awful, really. But I'm not a good animator, guys, really. Let's get rid of them. Let's cut them. I've got another idea. So let's make him hold his other arm, which forms the Rasengan. And once he has created the Rasengan, or Rasengan has reached a certain size, it will be fired. So where is it? Let's make him fire that Rasengan after, I don't know, 9 seconds. Okay. we're gonna make this Naruto fly towards his enemy, and then yeah, make him fire that Rasen Shuriken, guys. That Rasengan, of course. Okay, so this should be enough as an, yeah, animation. I know this animation looks pretty awful, but it's just to, yeah, demonstrate it to you guys. So, Rasengan. Just enter something instead of here. Description is not even relevant. I don't know why Roblox is forcing us to add a description. But yeah. So let's get back to this control script. There we go. So this is our animation ID. Now, so this is our attack 1. Let's create a attack 2, aka our Rasengan. And of course, we will create a attack 3, which is our Rasen Shuriken. So there we go. Let's copy the script up here. So this makes our Naruto be nearby the enemy. Displays the attack animation. I think that we should do it the other way around. So first of all, our attack animation is being played, means our Naruto gets into that Rasengan creation pose. And then after a certain amount of time, so probably around 9 seconds, he will spawn, or he will be teleported towards or in front of the enemy, and then of course approach the enemy with having a Rasengan on his hand. So that's my thought about this attack. I think it's time to realize it. So let's create a new instance, a part to be exact, which will represent the Rasengan. So it is going to be a ball, which is probably bluish, and has neon as material. So it looks like a Rasengan, and it will get bigger first of all. And after 9 seconds or so, or after, well, it must be 9 seconds. Yeah, no, it must be 0. Oh, I'm not even sure. Well, I'm talking about 9 seconds, but it is probably around 0.9 or 0.09. But whatsoever, let's just work with that. So let's create that Rasengan. So we are creating a part, instance.new. Inside of our, let's create it inside of the workspace. Doesn't even matter. Let's call this thing Rasengan. Doesn't matter as well. Now let's set it, or let's give it a brick color. So brick color, pastel, light blue, and let's give it a material. So neon in this case. And now let's give it a size. Vector 3. Let's say 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Let's disable collision on that thing. So can collect bolts. Let's disable this anchored option. And what else do we have to make? I think that, oh yeah, so we of course need to change the shape of it to a ball. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is we want to weld this thing to our player's left hand. So we are creating a new instance for that. A weld, of course, and we put it inside of our axe. So the first argument is the instance's class, and the second one is the parent. Okay, so the thing in which we will create this instance. I'm sorry, guys. So in part 0, so our part 0 is the part to which we will attach our instance to. In this case, of course, the tower's left hand. So what is this? Okay, so we can just easily do script parent. So script parent and then left hand. Script parent left hand. And our part 1 is the part which is being attached. So our X, aka our Rasengan. Okay, and now we can let's add this weight right here, and now we can add a tween service, which makes the ball bigger after I don't know, a certain amount of seconds, and then yeah, just attack the enemy. So let's create a tween by first of all referring to the tween service. So get service tween service. Then we make use of the create function right here. And what this create function needs as arguments, or in terms of arguments, is first of all the instance which is affected or we want to apply the tween on, which is our X, so our Rasengan ball in this case. The second argument is the information, so the tween info. So you write tween info dot new, and then those brackets. And the first argument is the time, I think, if I remember correctly. So let's take a look at it again. So tween info new. There we go. So time, style, direction. Oh, it is actually too much to memorize it, to be honest. So okay, using style. Yeah. Using direction. Let's just pick out. The repeat counter is of course at 0 because we do not want this thing to repeat. There is also no reverse we want to do, therefore false, and there's also no delay time we want to apply, therefore keep this at 0. Now the third argument is about the properties which are affected of this tween. In this case the size. So size vector3.new. And then let's just, make this whole thing bigger. Let's make it 1.111. Now let's play this tween and see how this works out. Okay, so he does not change his appearance for whatever reason. Okay. I think that we should change this color to dark blue first of all, and then make our attack 2 animation play instead of attack 1. So script attack 2 play. But yeah, so this does not work out as well. So let's define a new variable which just stands for the loaded attack 2 animation. So the same thing as this one, but just just on our attack 2 animation. So loaded attack 2 play. Works out. Okay. Let's see. Load animation present animation object. Oh. Alright. Why did I even define variables for them? I could just easily do script tag 2. So there's totally no difference in between those, in between this and this. So this is just more line constructing. I could have done this instead. I don't even know why I haven't done it this, why I haven't done it that way, but alright. Let's just get rid of this methods, this way of handling this. Okay, let's see, guys. Why aren't his clothes changing? Pretty weird. Oh yeah, because he's not level 3 yet. Okay, but the Rasengan works. It does not look good, to be honest, but it's okay, I think. So there's still some more things we gotta change, but it seems to work. Let's destroy. Loaded attack 2 stop. Okay, so this is it to attack 2. So I've just changed that the ball is being removed after the attack. And I've changed this line so it actually stops our attack 2 animation, not our attack 1. And now let's add a new animation, which is our attack 3. And this thing is gonna be, yeah, our Russian Shuriken. So let's just quickly create an animation for that. So still have 5 minutes left. Let's just do it quickly because it is actually pretty easy to do. So we're just gonna build some small things. About that. So I even think that I'm gonna create this Russian Shuriken inside of Blender instead of Roblox, because Roblox is just not, well, it is out of date for building those meshes, to be honest. So let's just do it in Blender. Yeah, and just add anything inside of here. Copy the ID, and where is it? Right on our attack 3. Close this thing, get back to our control script, add a new line for our loaded attack 3. And yeah. Now our Russian Shuriken is going to be very similar to our Sword Slash from our Zoro, because it is going to be an object which is just gonna fly towards our enemy, but is being formed inside of the hand, which is being raised at the beginning, of course, and then flies towards the enemy. So that's my plan for that. But let's just quickly switch over to Blender. So let me just quickly create this thing and use it in Roblox. Give me a moment. Blender is still loading, and there we go, guys. So welcome to Blender. Let me enable this plugin right here so you can see what I'm doing. Most of you should know about it, so most of you who have watched all of my videos, of course. I cannot blame anyone who does not do that, but I would really appreciate it, to be honest. So let's just move on, guys. Okay, Shift A to create something new. So we will create a cube for our purpose. Now you can hit Tab in order to switch to the edit mode. So up here you can see at which mode you're currently at. Object not edit mode, so just by pressing Tab. Now Control R to create those cuts. You can create multiple of them. So if you press Control R and then move your mouse wheel up, you can create multiple cuts. And once you hit the right mouse button, you will just cancel the thing you're currently trying to do. Now if you press C, you'll get the circle and can select multiple things by holding the left mouse button. Press X to delete something, and then just hit vertices. So those vertices are those points right here, those orange points I've just selected. So let's delete them. And now you can go to modifier. So this is this wrench symbol right here. Add a new modifier and then add the mirror modifier. And now you can change the affected axis. So we want this whole thing to affect the y-axis. And now also enable clipping, because if you have not clipping enabled, then you can do stuff like this, so it just overlaps. And now I'm going to show you what the mirror modifier does. So as you can see, there are no vertices right here, so you can just do changes on this left side, and they will be done on the right side automatically. So this is the advantage on using this modifier right here. Okay, now let's create another cut. Now let's select those two, no, those 4, and shrink them down. So if you press S and then X, you can shrink it down on the X-axis, and if you press Y instead, you can shrink them down on the Y-axis, and if you press Z, then you can shrink it down on the Z axis, but we only need the X axis for now. If you press G and then Y or X or Z, you can move it around on the desired axis. Let's just, yeah, do that. Oh, let's create another cut and cut away one of those sides. And let's, yeah, make more axes being affected. Okay. Okay, we are already at 1 hour of recording. Let me just get this done quickly. Okay. Alright, so this is okay. Let's hit the supply button. Let's create another cut right here and yeah, just press X and now this thing looks like this. It looks great, to be honest. There's also, yeah, you can make it, you can of course make it a lot more better, but I'm under pressure right now, so I just want to have to end this video as quickly as possible. Okay, so create another circle which just, yeah, goes through our Rasen Shuriken right here. And we will do the same, which we've already done in ROBLOX Studio, so we will work with, yeah, solid modeling, so this thing's just a term inside of Roblox. I don't think that solid modeling is a thing in Blender. So of course by the term. Okay, so some methods like cutting out parts by using other parts works in Blender, or this thing works in Blender as well. So that was what I've intended to do. So let's select this object right here and then go to I forgot the name. What was it again? Boolean. Yeah, it was Boolean. Select another object, which is going to be our circle, and then can hit apply, cut out the circle, and as you can see, it has made a hole inside of here, so inside of the place where it was. Now we can have this sphere right here, and now this thing looks like a Rasen Shuriken. Well, at least a little. Now you can select both objects and hit Ctrl J to make them one mesh, to connect those meshes. And now this is our Rasen Shuriken. You can hit Shade Smooth, so right click Shade Smooth and then use the edge modifier, edge split modifier, and now this whole thing looks like this. And now this is going to be our Rasen Shuriken, guys. So we're gonna work with this thing. If you're done, go to File, Export, then OBJ. Okay, now select a folder which you want to save this whole thing. Okay, there we go. So this is it with Blender. Let's switch back to Studio. Now just add a mesh port to import this whole thing. Mesh ID. Now select the path to your exported OBJ file. So Russian Shuriken, there we go. Now this is how it looks like. It looks cool, to be honest, so probably impossible to do with solid modeling in ROBLOX Studio. Yeah, so this looks like a Russian Shuriken, guys, to be honest. Yeah. Call this thing Russian Shuriken. And then we can leave it inside of the replicated storage. And now let's get back to this control script right here. And to our third attack. So, as I've just said, it is going to be very similar to our Zoro's second attack, I think. So we can just copy this one and paste it to our Russian Shuriken attack, and we only have to change a few things. First of all, of course, loaded attack 3, so do not forget to change that. Now, yeah. Storage, Russian Shuriken clone, C-frame, yeah, above our left hand. So if you have no idea at how this Zoro slash attack worked, then I recommend you to watch the Zoro Tower video, because I've explained everything in that one. So I'm just changing a few things, as I've just said. So what I'm doing right here is just wait a second. So I've just copied or cloned this Russian Shuriken, and I've put it inside of workspace and have positioned this thing above Naruto's hand. So 0 and then 1 and then 0, so above his hand. And we will delete this thing after 3 seconds. And let's add a weight right here. Weight 0.5. And let's add a tween once again, which will just make this whole thing a lot more bigger. So it currently is at, and let me shrink it down a little to this size. Then 5, 0.2, and yeah, so this is it. I think that this should work now. Don't forget to change this collision option to false. And let's see if this whole thing works, guys. Let's hope so. Because if this works, then we will feature lobbies and summon systems in the next video. He's not changing his appearance, and that's a problem, I think. Oh. Okay, I see. So we need to make him, or we need to make this mesh port anchored first of all, and remove this anchored option after, no, not after, but when Naruto attempts to shoot it. So right here, X anchored false. There we go. Okay. Let's hope that this works. Okay, there we go. Okay, pretty weird. So it first of all works, but still some things I would like to change. So let's change the C-frame space to the humanoid root part. Put this at 1.5 and let's put this at 0.5. Maybe that will help. This one is probably placed a bit too far. Okay, what is wrong with him? Okay, so this looks a lot more better. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm not really sure about it, guys. Change. Okay, so that was the reason. So this level 3 thing was still inside of the level 2 entry, and I've just fixed that. So that was the reason, or that is probably the reason for the clothes to not change. There we go. All right. So, this is it with the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, then please leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share this video to all of your friends, and give me feedback in the comment section, guys. And do not forget to check out the description, because I've left a link to this place, so to this uncopyrighted place in the description. And please, if you click on the first link, which is supposed to support me, then please only click on it, but do not do any further things. So it might show you advertisement, it might tell you to buy something. Please do not do that. Just click on the link and then proceed with the direct link, which is the second link in the description, guys. So only the clicking of first link of the supportive link is necessary for you to support me, okay? So do not do any further actions. Do not install any extensions. Do not install, I don't know, whatsoever, which is, yeah, being presented in the advertisement, okay? So with that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video.